Good morning, everybody. I'm very honored to be here to give a talk today, and not only so people in front of me, but so many people in background through the live streams. And I'm actually the research scientist or research engineer in the field of robotics. So today I'm going to introduce some of my researches in the area of intelligent robotics, covering up the safety issue at home and the helping elderly people in some ways. Okay, so the title of today's talk is Intelligent Robot Technology for the Old and the Infirm. So as introduced just before, I'm currently the professor at Gwangju Institute of Science Technology, and I'm doing several jobs over there as a director for fusion technology and the director for Korean Culture Technology Institute, and so on. So I wanted give some short video clip. This is a robot that I made a few years ago. The name of this robot is Mero, and I made it for actually emotional exchange with humans. So by making human-like faces, which can express this emotion. So I want the people to focus on, give some attention to the robot systems. It's cute, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to make use of that kind of robot technology for enhance the exchange, enhance the interactions between robot and humans. Okay. This is actually the robots which I recently made. The first one is called the Silbot. You can see one of applications what I made for the elderly people, and the other robots are the Mero and some other very complex robot system. So my main research area is the cognitive training robot for the elderly, and indoor and outdoor navigation technology for the multi-agent and human-computer interaction, and the cloud-based robot intelligence using artificial intelligence, and the emotional robot expression technology, just what you just saw, and the rehabilitation robotics. So this is the ecosystem of care robot systems for the elderly that I intend to make. As you can see, in order for intelligent robotics systems to enter our daily lives and perform new services, many services must be connected by big data servers, just like that. Based on the collected data, it can provide a lot of services. So this is the ultimate goal of my system, which I'm trying to get. So the brief contents of today's talk is just like following. So I have 5 categories. The first one is cognitive training robot, and the second one is development of interactive robotics for mood stabilization and cognitive improvement. And the third one is multi-Kinect based gait pattern recognition system. The first one is fall detection system for the elderly using intelligent robot. And the final one is abnormal behavior recognition system for the children needing special care, like ADHD or autism. Okay, I don't like repeat the problems of aging in today's society. I think you understand fully about it. So then why robot system is needed? So it's my opinion because of lack of specially trained teachers, people who can take care of so the elderly people increasing so enormously. And robots are actually very interesting. So not only the young people, but the elderly people shows a lot of interest in this new technology. I have convinced and I have some result for that. As you know, upgrade is very simple. If upgrade is done, we can make it at once, all around the world, all the robot system at the same time. The quality of education is the same everywhere. So it is one of the advantages of robot system, and moreover, it is very cheap compared to human cost. So the first, category is cognitive training robot system, Silbot. So some of you might know that I introduced this robot system to the state of Aarhus several years ago, and it is still working. So I'm going to talk about this robot system. Actually, this robot is a new one, upgraded one, of the system which I brought several years ago, 2011 or something like that. So it is more interactive and with more functionalities, more sensors on it. So we made, actually for this brain fitness robot, we created 16 different cognitive game contents. So using these games, the robot interact with people and do some, fitness games, right? These contents were developed specifically for the stimulation of some part of brain, frontal lobe, parietal lobe, and the temporal lobe, something like that. The games were categorized according to their need, just like that, as you can see here, right? As I mentioned, in 2011, I brought the robot system Silbot to the city of Aarhus for an intensive pilot installation for 3 months long. Mr. Ivan Roderison, the director of the healthcare department at the time, assisted living, right? At the time, has worked together for the successful pilot installation at the time. And after that, we upgraded robot system with that one, which I showed just before, and are still being applied successfully and continuously. Okay, this is a video clip. So in 2011, I think, it's better for you to see this video. This is the older version of Silbot.
Jeg vil se, om robotten kan bruges til hukommelsesstimulering i den danske plejesektor. Der er jo ingen tvivl om, at det kommer. Vi bliver flere og flere ældre, og det er nok vejen frem. Efter de første spæde forsøg, ser det lovende ud. Til at begynde med var de ikke så koncentreret om de her øvelser. Men jeg skal da lige love for, at nu bruger de hjernelinjerne, hver gang de kommer ind. Han kører Silbot først en tur på det ternede gulv. Derefter skal deltagerne styrke igennem samme øvelser. Og det er faktisk ikke let. Her, der kræver det, at du er fuld koncentreret. Og det kan jeg godt se i sin dagligdag, at det er godt at øve sig i og være fokuseret på nogle enkelte ting. Så det skal jeg også være? Det er jeg helt sikker på, at gøre. Her er et program, hvor deltagerne både skal huske tal og følge en
Okay, just like that. And you can figure out what kind of robot it is. And, so I think I can skip this one. So actually, as you can see, there are other the game contents like that. So follow me, my behavior, or something like that. And the people can control the robot system directly using smart pad. And some singing class. They should remember the sentences for the song, just like that. So as you can see, we have 16 different games, and as far as you remember, the Danish elderly people love to play bingo at the time a lot. Okay. So actually, the evaluation process is very important, whether this kind of new technology work or not. So at the time, we carried out a very intensive evaluation process to verify the effectiveness of this robot system. We collect 85, in Korea, we collect 85 volunteer elderly peoples in Seoul, selected for intensive training for 5 days a week and for 3 months long. It was very intensive. So 90-minute class a day. And these people were divided into 3 groups, as you can see. The first group was human class, which was trained by traditional human teachers. And the second group is trained by the developed robots, Silbot. So it's a robot class. And the third group is control group. They didn't do anything. So just waiting for next, phase. And at the beginning and the end of the study, we measured the cortical thickness of these patients using MRI. And the mean value of the cortical thickness was measured, to verify the effectiveness. The result is just like that. As you can see, the left upper side is the control group, and right upper side is human class, and left down side is robot class. So it is the average value of the cortical thickness of the participants. So as you can see, in case of the control group who were not trained by any program, their cortex thickness tend to be generally thin, right? So blue means thin, and yellow and red means thicken. And as you can see, for the case of robot group, that slight 5 micron in the amount of 5 micron of cortical thickness increase. So it was a very amazing result, and we published in along the journals, medical journals at the time. So this result shows that this kind of new brain fitness program work, and the other hand, the older people showed a lot of attention on this kind of new technology. Okay. So it is another video clip, but I'm gonna skip it. The second category is development of interactive robots for mood stabilization and cognitive improvement in patients with mild cognitive impairment and dementia. So we are making a very small size robot which can be used at home, just like this. It's 35 height intelligent mobile robot systems. It is designed for the elderly who want to be more healthy and independent at home. So we are making a lot of functionalities and a lot of services using these robots for the elderly. The first ultimate the purpose of this system is to develop an interactive robot system for mood stabilization, cognitive improvement, for cognitive improvement. The second one is development of individualized recommendation services for personal healthcare at home, using some big data collected and using some AI technology to do that kind of service. Okay, let me explain in more details about it. So one of the important goals is to alleviate depression in the elderly through interactive emotional communication with robot systems. To this end, we are developing technologies that enables active interaction with outside parties based on various cognitive games or SNS. So they can, do some physical exercise together, or they communicate using some virtual elderly care, spaces to do some interactions, to communication together. All right. So we are using a lot of multimodal sensors, to recognize patients' emotions. Let me explain in more details later. And we're using AI. We want to develop a differentiating algorithm of emotions. Okay. So. Some Korean words inside. Please understand that. But you can figure out what kind of system it is. So to recognize the emotional state of the elderly, we are developing a technique to predict the emotional state through various gestures, facial expressions, and the conversation contents of the elderly. While performing the cognitive games, we are providing some games using not only using the robot itself, but some contents and some peripheral devices. So when this data accumulate over a long period of time, so over months, over years, we'll analyze them using artificial intelligence technology and do the additional services. Is there any? I think, yes, as you can see, we are recognizing some activities, gestures of the humans during the games, some abnormal behaviors of gestures and facial expression, and analyze the conversation, dialogue. By doing that, the AI system can try to recognize whether the elder people are in depression mode or not, something like that. Okay? Many people are collaborating for this project. Not only the robot experts, but some medical doctors in the area of dementia, and some neuropsychiatrists, and some care people in the area of nursing, in dementia nursing. So they are collaborating together, to make some services or making some contents, game contents together. So this is some modular peripheral devices for certain games. We are making this kind of devices. It's something like some small blocks, and this block has a functionality, so making some sound, music, lighting, using LED, and vibration, and some figures on the top of the devices. Using this kind of very complex systems, we are making a lot of interesting games for the elderly people. You will see some videos for that. And the robot can interact using some cognitive games directly with elderly people too. Okay, this is the blocks, intelligent blocks, what I told you. Okay. Yeah. This is some example of games together with robot system. Robots, these blocks are linked to the robot using Wi-Fi or something like that. And the robot gives all the control to the devices. And the robot gives some questions or some problems to the elderly. And the elderly should do some games using these blocks together. Some music games or some memory games or something like that. Okay? By changing the blocks, mixing up, they should respond to the games, right? It's very interesting games. Still, they are upgrading these modules a little more smaller and more intelligent and so on. As according to the games, left side, you cannot read. It's same games like the cognitive games using Silver previously. The same concept, okay? Just like that. And this is another example of the interactive games using a small robot. The elderly people can interact directly with the robot, just like games like go to market, to buy something together with robot, and making food together, and clothing the robot by elderly people. Yes, it's just like a pet, and giving some money to the robot, to buy something. That kind of games are provided. So, to give some interest, some attention to the elderly people. Okay, we are providing also many kinds of care services for daily life, like checking schedule, giving exact schedule to the elderly for medication or something like that, and assistance for taking medicine, and alarming emergency, so falling emergency or something like fall emergency or some of them, and the robot assist community for elderly. That kind of service are now being prepared. Some of them are already developed. Okay, this is a scenario for care services, daily life. It is a very complex system, so according to the needs and the demands from the elderly people, it should be very reluctant, very, how can I say, useful and very good for reaction. So the whole scenario is very complex, programmed right now. Okay, prediction and recommendation of services. As I told you, we are using artificial intelligence, to predict and recommend some services to the elderly people by using the collected data in data servers. We are collecting a lot of data continuously, and using that kind of big data, the algorithm can determine what kind of service should we provide to the elderly people. So what kind of level of games and what kind of services for certain elderly people, something like that. Okay, there is the one robot system which is still being developed, and I'm going to talk about another project called multi-Kinect based gait pattern recognition system. So as you know, the falling down of elderly people is a very serious problem, and it should be. We want to, determine whether the elderly people are in danger or not. So we develop a very special sensing systems for this purpose, called multi-Kinect sensor based human gesture tracking systems. As you can see, we are using many sensors in parallel, and we can detect the human motion very accurately. Why we are using the multiple the cameras 3D sensing system is so with only one system there are so unseen areas of bodies, and in order to avoid that kind of difficulty, we are using multiple cameras, and the combining all the data together, we can ultimately have a very complete the set of body motion in 3D. Okay, just like that. All right, just like that. So the upper one is the data received from one sensor. By combining all the sensors, we can get a final reconstruct data just like that. So, sorry. So we have evaluated this multi-sensor systems using OptiTrack system, which is a motion capture systems, very precise one, and we have determined that the accuracy of this new system is less than 5% RMSE, so it's a very accurate one. And as I said, these Kinect sensors are very cheap, and it is very good for commercializations and real applications. The system uses, as I said, the Kinect sensors to repeatedly measure the elderly's walking habits. And we are using 6 sensors to measure the walking style more precisely. And we could successfully combine all the sensor data together. And this system will soon be installed at the Gwangju Senior Center to measure a very large number of walking data. Using the AI and big data, big data can identify patterns of elderly with walking problems very accurately. Okay, the system looks like this, I think. So we can analyze the human body behavior just like that, using the sensors very accurately. And using AI and deep learning, we can recognize whether the walking pattern of certain people has problem or not. I think that this is a video you can see. We just installed this new pass at the senior center, and if someone comes in and they touch with the ID, then the system recognizes who it is, and then begin to store his walking pattern into the big data system, just like that. So the upper one is normal gait, and this is abnormal gait. This system can recognize very slight difference, not like that, but even though the gaiting pattern is slightly has problem, the system can recognize very well. Okay. So as I said, we are training all the systems using big data, and we finished to evaluate our AI systems recently, and it shows a very nice result right now. So as I said, we are just finished to install this system at the senior welfare centers. And in these centers, at least 100 elderly people come every day. And if they come to these centers, they touch with tag, some touched with ID, then registered, and begin to store their walking patterns every day for 100 people every day. So if it lasts more than months or years, we'll have an enormous bunch of data for artificial intelligence later. Okay? Okay, this is the final videos for that. And this system shows that we could successfully combine all the data together and analyze the walking pattern very precisely. Okay, let's move on to next project. So fall detection system for the elderly using intelligent robot system. So as Mr. Ivan Rodriguez explained, that the safety issues are very important nowadays at home, not only at home, but some facilities too, whether we can, detect that kind of emergency situation very accurately and promptly. It's a very big issue. So we are developing sensing systems for that, not only using sensor, but using intelligent robot system combined. I will explain about it. So I'm developing an indoor localization sensors using an ultra-wideband signals. By attaching the sensor to a robot and to a moving object like a human, it can track this location in real time with an accuracy of within 10 centimeters inside. Not only inside, but also outside of the building, we can track the moving object. The advantage of this sensing system is that it is strong against changes in the indoor environment. So it is very robust and very precise, accurate systems indoor. And it is capable of tracking a large number of moving objects. So 100 people at the same time inside of the room is a very strong systems. And you can imagine that where it is optimal for use. Yeah? We can use these sensors to check patient movement for example, in the elderly nursing home or hospitals who need special monitoring from the medical persons, nurses or something like that. So we are using that kind of system. This is the hardware we made recently. It is a very small one, and 27 millimeter and 40 millimeters size, and we can very easily attach this sensor to the human body in the form of a necklace or in the form of a watch type or something like that, according to the demand. And as you can see, we can attach at least 4 anchors inside of the room at the corner of the ceiling. Then these sensors can track, as I said, a bunch of moving objects very accurately, just like that. Okay, so we can track all the movement inside of buildings without any difficulties. Right? So we are almost at the final phase of developing these sensors. As you can see, we have a very nice graphical user interface for these sensors, which can show you the traces of a moving object nicely inside a room. And in order to recognize the force in all the people, we have such kind of algorithms. As you can see, we attach the sensor not only to the care robot, but to the patients, right? To determine the fall of the patients of the elderly or the elderly in the facility. So, for example, if the elderly person who are carrying this sensor, somebody, do not move at some point where it is not appropriate, for example, in the living room somewhere, don't move. Then robot recognize it is something wrong, and it can proactively approach to the people and see, recognize using the camera systems whether this person is lying or don't move or trying to converse with him, something like that. Then the robot can decide whether this is an emergency situation. Because we know the position of the elderly people very accurately, the robot can approach without any difficulties. Previously, it was very hard to find the persons inside of the room because we didn't have a nice localization system for the humans, actually. But now this problem is resolved using the sensors. So in order to recognize the situation of persons lying on the ground, we collected a lot of the databases for that. So something like that. We collected more than 200,000 cases using robot system. We take a shot of many configurations, many situations of the people, just like that. They can lie, lie upwards or downwards, or under the table, under the chair, or something like that. Many cases. We collect all the situation data into the database and train it. And using AI, we can recognize that the people is lying on the ground, just like that. Right? So finally, this is a demo what we made. So it's a demo that this you can assume that this is elderly people. The robot knows where the person lies and the approach to the person. And using the camera, they try to recognize whether these people really lying. If he decides it is an emergency case, then try to call the medical doctors or give some message to the persons. Okay? Just like that. So the last project is abnormal behavior recognition system for ADHD children using intelligent robot games. So this is a whole configuration of the robot systems. So, as you know, children who need special care who are suffering from ADHD or autism, they have a difficulty interacting with people. However, it has been confirmed that these children are very actively interested in new technology robots. They showed some interest in conversing with robot systems. So we are developing a robotic system to use these specs in education. So robots are used to develop games to diagnose children's disease like ADHD and autism. And the experts can easily and accurately diagnose children using game result. So we are making special games in order to diagnose these children in the diagnosing phase. Okay? So if we observe the children's behavior doing these special games, we can score their behaviors very correctly, very nicely. And with that result, the expert can diagnose more easily and more simply. Otherwise, it will take too long for them to interact with every children's, and this system can have that kind of difficulties. So this is one mode. So doing games with robot, and robot can diagnose, can give the scores for abnormal behaviors of children or something like that. I'll show some videos for that. And the other aspect of this system is that the expert going to use this robot as a medium to create an environment that helps children's education. So it means that teachers who are far away, so remotely in another room, control the robot remotely. So robot behaves just like teachers. And as I said, the children can interact with the robot system even though the teachers are sitting background. They show a lot of attention. So the teacher can give some instructions or give some questions, to get their internal, thinkings and something like that. Okay? So this is the diagnosis, right. Right, this is games we are developing, just like the brain fitness games for the elderly. We built up the interactive games for the children. So for if new children comes in, they are required to test to do that kind of games with the robot together, and then with the result, the expert can diagnose whether he's at what level of ADHD or what level of the autism. Okay, I will show you some videos. I think that no, just like that. The robot shows some patterns, some reactions of what the children should do. So if some wolf comes up, he should sit down. Or if some mother comes up, he should wave his hand or something like that. It's a reaction of the children, and he should follow the path very accurately, something like that. If he doesn't do it, the robot scores it. It recognizes that the children don't do exactly what they required. So the robot system can detect this kind of abnormal behaviors of children during the games, right? So wrong behavior, move, or move before start. The child does not move after start. Speak during games, change paths, and see teachers, do not concentrate on games, something like that. Our robot and the sensing system can recognize that kind of abnormal behaviors of children. Then the robot can give score for that. Okay? I think this is a real sensing process of the many kinds of abnormal behaviors using sensor systems. We collect all the behavioral data during the games and evaluate it later on using AI, and we can score that kind of behaviors later. Right? Using AI, we could get test accuracy up to 99%. It's amazing data. So using deep learning technology, we could get that kind of accuracy. Okay. Yes, this is a real situation. The right one is real situation of test. Okay? I think you understood. The robot shows the what to do so beforehand to the children, and the children should repeat that kind of all the process with his memory. Okay? Okay, that's all what I want to say today. I'm going to summarize my talk today. So the first one is artificial intelligence and robot technology are bringing revolutionary changes in supporting the elderly. So we should give a lot of attention to this new trend. And it is very urgent to introduce new technologies that can efficiently support a small number of dependents, caregivers, right? So there are no other ways to resolve that problem. And it is very important to develop core skills that can help seniors to live healthier and more independent. Okay, that's end of my talk. And thank you very much, and thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Let's see if there's questions.
All right.
So we'll just have a few minutes if anybody has any questions. Otherwise, yeah. Did you have a question? No? Okay. So I'll start off with the first question then. So you've worked obviously extensively in Korea, and now you have a cooperation with Aarhus. Do you see a difference between Europe and Asia and how we perceive or see robotics?
Mm-hmm. Actually, at the beginning phase, I had also that kind of thinking. So probably there exists a lot of difference because of the cultural difference in both countries. But as a result, I found out that the elderly people showed a lot of interest in new technology like robots and new algorithms. It's the same, not only in Korea, but here in European countries, it is very, very much the same. But slight difference probably in choosing games. As I said, they love to play more bingos than Korean people over there. Probably they love to enjoy more group therapy style games than independent solitaire games, probably, I assume. Anyway, I was very much surprised that the elderly people showed a lot of attention to this new technology at the time. Still, I have a confidence about it.
Thank you. Eva has a question?
I think it's very interesting to see the experimental setup that you have made in Korea.
All right.
I'm curious, how far is the way to the market for these solutions?
Yeah.
And I'm not thinking only the public market, but also the private market.
So I have actually very long time experience with commercializing robot systems, and I'm very cautious about it, and to decrease the delivery time to the market right now. So I'm working with very professional companies together and very professional experts in this area. And as you know that these days the cycle lead time of new technology is very shortened. It is very short, and I think that these kind of new technology can be available in very short time. So 1 year to at least 1 year, I think I can bring it to the real application in the real market, I hope.
Thank you. Yeah. Final question?
What are the biggest challenges you are facing the next couple of years regarding robot technologies?
The most challenging, the most difficult challenge might be collecting reasonable data through that kind of setup. It depends on, the success depends on that kind of collecting data. Because without data, we cannot use any AI techniques or something like that to do new service to the elder people. But fortunately, Korea, we have a very nice facilities to where many elderly people come every day, and spontaneously. And, we hope that we can get a bunch of data for a short period in near future. And if I get it, I think we have a very strong feature, strong aspect to further develop our technologies. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.